then I'll
No, it's
take it
fine.
off. I'm being recorded?
You are. We
Sure.
have an injured
Person?
realtor,
Okay.
and she
I'm better in
couldn't
person.
make it, and
That's okay.
we told her that.
Make sure you keep that jacket on, okay?
That's why I put the jacket on.
Just in case.
But I'm gonna take it off here in this
Good,
minute
good.
when it gets warm. Anyway, hi guys.
Hi.
How you doing? I'm Kirk Miller, and we're gonna be spending some time together today till about noon, and tomorrow till about noon. I think is the schedule. Then we have some more training on Thursday that we're gonna drop in. So I'm excited for you guys. Marty was here when? Marty Reuter, like 2 weeks ago?
Wednesday.
Week ago Wednesday, okay. And y'all didn't have a clue before then, or you did?
Not a clue.
Not a clue. Okay, not a clue. Okay. And so Marty came in and said, "Hey, guess what? Your life is totally different now. Let's just turn you upside
It's a
down,
new day.
and now I'll shake you." Okay. All right, so he's turned you upside down, and we'll shake you for a little bit. I got a call from Mark Hanna. Y'all are getting part of joining our franchise is you get to know a lot of personalities, right? Y'all have already been up there and experienced this. And Mark Hanna is going to be your primary business consultant for this office. He lives in Philadelphia. And he may be coming up tomorrow, so we may get to see Mark tomorrow as well. So y'all get inundated with Weicker Corporate, but that's not unusual, by the way. It's part of our strength, is that we've got people out in the field constantly, and a growing population of us out in the field to support you guys that have extensive real estate experience. I mean, we all do. And I'll give you a little background about me, so maybe you'll listen when I'm talking and feel like I have a little bit of credibility. But I guess it's 33 years now in August in the real estate business. Who's been in longer than 20 years? Anybody? 10 years? Okay. Most of you are around the at 8, 9, and then down, right? Okay. Anybody inside of a year? Awesome. Anybody? Let me ask you this first. There's two kinds of people in this world. When I'm traveling around the country, which I do, I've been in 48 states doing real estate, and I've been in 49 just as a person. But
What happened to that one?
we'll get into that later. But when I see somebody, I put them in one of two groups. There's two kinds of people in this world. What are they? Anybody know?
Buyers and sellers.
Buyers and sellers. No, that's a good one. That's not it.
Men
That's
and
not it.
women.
I'm sorry?
It's a men and women.
Leaders.
Men and women's good.
Leaders and followers.
Leaders and followers is a good one. All these. And I would embarrass somebody if we were in another environment like this, but I won't this time. But let me tell you what they are. There's two kinds of people in this world. And this is a visual, so y'all gotta watch. There's people with a real estate license, and there's people without a real estate license. Is that correct?
Yeah.
There's two kinds of people. And you can put everybody on the planet in that situation. Now, who's been licensed the shortest period of time? Is anybody inside of a month? 2 months? 3 months? So how long have y'all been licensed?
4.
4 months. I was getting there. I was close.
I was waiting.
So 4 months and 5 months. Have you sold anything yet?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but we're going to try this. Okay. So everybody with more experience than him, look at him in the face and finish my. You just look at him, he's smiling face. Everybody look at him and finish my sentence. Those of you looking at him. Buyers are.
Liars.
Heard it? Oh, you have heard it.
Yeah.
See, you've been around too long. That's the problem.
Well versed,
Okay.
well versed.
Now, what's interesting, had you ever heard that?
Yeah.
You have, okay, all right. Yeah, no, well, of course you have, you've been around since God, you don't know, right? So here's the reason I bring that up, is I've been in real estate business 33 years. The biggest challenge I have in staying relevant is my experience. Does that make sense? And we have come in here, and your broker has made the decision to change your sales life, correct?
Correct.
It didn't ask you.
Correct.
Just didn't ask you. She just came in and said, "I'm gonna change your life." Well, now y'all know all the background to that. She spent months deciding whether this was right and whether it was going to help your business and all that kind of stuff. But those of you with the most experience have the most heartache over this. I'm telling you right now. Is that correct?
Yes.
Because you got more at stake, more to change. Okay, And it can be more difficult for some of us to change. And I tell you, I find the people that the brand new agents in these little classes that I give, that we do for these rollouts, they have the least amount of problem. You follow? Because it's all new, it all makes sense, and it's all good. Okay? And so, and I tell, you were at the Management Academy, and I usually say this at the beginning. I don't know if I did it to you guys, but if you throw away your experience, you'll be doing pretty good. In a lot of regards, not completely, obviously. You're going to be drawing tremendous bridges from your experience to this new Weichert sales system. But there will be times when your experience might get in your way. I'll help guide you through that the next 3 or 4 days. Is that okay? Say yes? Good? Okay. All right.
Sure.
Okay. Well, anyway, just so you know, I'll give you a quick background on me so you know that I've been in the sales business. So I got licensed 33 years ago. Does anybody know what the interest rates were? What are the interest rates now? 4%. I get tickled a number of years ago. You know, it's going like from 4 to 5, and agents are going, how are we going to sell these houses? It's going up 5. Anybody know what the interest rates were?
Like 18.
It was the highest prime lending rate month was the month I got licensed. Ever in the history of America. 18.3%. The first year in business, and I sold 22 houses, only one of them had a straight mortgage on it. The rest of them were funny business, you know, buybacks, land contracts, all that kind of crap to get them done. And then wound up being a partner with my owner. I was at ERA. You might know what ERA is. There ERA real estate here?
Yes.
Oh, are they big?
They were.
Thank you.
I came from there.
Oh, you did? Okay.
They were.
All right, so you know this, so don't answer.
Okay.
Who knows what ERA stands for? Isn't that interesting? I was an ERA broker. I had wound up owning 2 offices in Richmond, Kentucky, and Lexington, Kentucky. I don't know if y'all know where that is in the center. It stands for Electronic Realty Associates. That's what it stands for. And the reason was the guy that invented the thing had this thing called a fax machine. Did they get into the history of ERA with you? Okay. Because when I started in real estate business, we had this fax machine. I'm telling you, it's how I listed property. I'd go over and one of the clips is hilarious too, and I say it out loud. It's hilarious. I go over to the house, and we've been doing a lot of our listing routine and all that kind of stuff. At a point, I'd say, "Are you aware that over 60% of the potential buyers coming into Madison County right now could be from out of state?" Oh no, they didn't know that. So get them excited about that. Well, let me tell you why you should list with me. Because here at ERA, we have something called a fax machine. And I literally would go like that. And people are attentive. Because remember when this is? The early 80s. Okay? People didn't have home PCs. They were not home PCs. Fax machines were a relatively new piece of equipment. And I would say, tell you what, you need to list with me, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a Polaroid picture of your house. Y'all get it? Because they were a little more expensive and they were quick. Okay? And I'm going to overnight it to Kansas City. I'm going to overnight mail it. And they're going to do something called scan it into a supercomputer. That's what we would say. Because all computers back then were what? Supercomputers. So they're going to put it into a supercomputer, and we say, if an ERA broker in California is working with a buyer moving to Kentucky, that broker in California could call this supercomputer, really with the phone. They can call the supercomputer, and within half a day, they could be looking at photographs of your house that come through this fax machine in their office. Press hard 3 copies. And it's just whiz bang. Now, y'all understand this fax machine was one of those old drum styles where you put the thermal paper in it, and it took about 30 minutes, and you get one grainy sheet of paper. You could barely see the houses. Okay? But did I leverage technology for listing? Say yes.
Yes.
It was whiz bang. Now, what's interesting, I think about that, and I come forward, and you guys realize that you're now selling under the franchise that is the most successful in leveraging the internet to sales than any real estate company on the planet. Y'all aware of that?
We are now.
You are now. Marty told you the other day, you may not have
That's
stuck.
what we've been told.
Well, and you'll see the numbers. See, that's another thing about Weigert is nothing is hidden. Everything's out in the open, and you'll see the data. We collect data that no one else does. We collect data about your activities because we want to know if what we're advocating for you to do is creating the results that you need. Does that make sense? So you'll see all the data. You know, when we say you take the doors listing presentation out, and at minimum you're going to get 85% of the competitive listings you're going after, we know that because we have the data. We have records of how many times the doors is created, who takes it out, and how many times we bring listings back. So we can, with assurance, say, we just raised the percentage of listings that you got last year based on the appointments you go on with doors. We'll see that. Does that make sense? Okay. So real estate. So I was I was a top producer as an agent, and I had my own real estate companies, ERA companies, two ERA offices. Then I sold out to my partner and taught in a pre-licensed school. Back in those days, you had to go sit in a classroom to get your license. Did anybody do it online?
Still
We can't.
Still, they can't hear. We had that discussion. That's
Yes, we
right.
did.
Yes, we
And
did.
everyone thought
So
Bobby and I
weirdest
didn't know
damn
what we
state in
were
the world.
talking
Yeah,
about.
no, that is
It's a
unusual.
long
Okay.
conversation.
Okay. Well, you know, I'm from Kentucky, by the way. Can y'all tell by the accent a little bit? Okay. And so we're always accused of being last in the country for things to come in. But I think Delaware's
Yeah,
right up there. Delaware's right up
Slow.
there. Yeah, right up in there. So anyway, here's what's neat. Here's part of the reason I'm standing here now is that, and I'll share some of this over the next couple days and how I sold real estate, and, how it's still relevant today, and how we can do all this kind of stuff. But I got to go and literally deliver training like this, usually with broker owners. It's kind of been my thing, the management component of real estate offices, but in 48 states. So here's the thing that I'm carted around the country to do is it's hard to tell me that it doesn't work here. Because I've been every damn where in the country looking at how real estate's practiced. There's one market that you can say is so completely different from the rest of the country that they have different rules in doing real estate. Anybody know where that is?
Alaska?
No?
That was my guess.
Interesting. We almost had a franchise in Alaska. No, they do the same.
About Hawaii.
No, same.
Yeah?
Been out there. Yeah, that was rough work when I had to go out there and teach. It's tough.
California?
New York
New York.
City, specifically, which one of the boroughs?
Manhattan.
Manhattan. Manhattan is the only place, and we'll call it a town, even though it's just a borough within the city, that can say, Kirk, it's different here, it doesn't work that way. And it's true, you know, no signs, you know, open houses out of the question. Co-ops, you know what's the pending period here from under contract to close?
45 to 60.
I'm sorry?
45 to 60.
45 to 60 days? You know what it is in New York City? Now this goes to all the boroughs. You know what it is in the boroughs of New York City? 9 to 11 months
Oh.
is the pending period. So that would have hurt when you were getting in the real estate business, wouldn't it?
Yes.
To try to hang on and do that. So it's the only place where it's different, but we do have great Weigert offices there, by the way. I can explain the reason, but it has to do with the attorneys. The attorneys control the title and all that kind of stuff. I'm sorry?
Enough said.
No sense. It's all attorney. Okay. And so, but I got to travel around, so I had that perspective, and it was with Century 21. Is there a strong Century 21 here? And y'all, Marty?
No.
Oh, there isn't? Okay,
No,
interesting.
it's gone.
Okay. And I bring that up because is anybody concerned that no one in Dover's heard of Weigert? Is that a concern?
No.
I'm sorry?
I've heard of it, but I'm from New Jersey.
Okay, good. Well, that's cheat. That's cheat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cheat if you're from New Jersey. Children 4 and 5 years
Yeah,
old
yeah.
literally have a high awareness of Weigert in New Jersey because and I'll tell you why I'm saying that. I'm glad you're not concerned because I got Century 21 as an example. You don't have one here. But do you know in any state, and they hire the Worthland Group, which is like the Gallup pollsters, y'all know what I'm talking about? Worthland Group. And the other franchises other than us, a few of them, jointly pay for a poll each year, and they have the Worthman Group go around the country and ask, and they do unaided awareness polls. They call into enough cities, enough people, they say, name a real estate company. That's it. No, name a local real estate company. Who comes up first every time? Century 21. Century 21 has a gap over Remax right now. Remax is second in aided name recognition, but Century 21 still has the highest unaided name recognition in the country. Now, does anyone know what's happened to their market share since 1993? When Sendit bought them, it's gone down every year. Last year might have been one of their largest decreases in market share. We haven't gotten all the numbers back yet. Even with them running TV commercials again on TV last year. Did y'all see that? Okay. The reason I'm bringing this up is name recognition is great. I'm sorry, I should have turned it off. Name recognition is great, but in the real estate business, it doesn't generate business. It just doesn't. It helps people feel comfortable sometimes when you're there. You follow? But it does not generate business. We have proof in the data. You know, the idea that we have is if people see us, but people just don't see a billboard or have an awareness of a logo in a real estate company and just walk in the front door very often. Okay? So I brought that up just to let you know I've had experience with Century 21 and how the branding stuff works. Do y'all know when what's population here? I'm sorry, in your market?
178,000.
Okay, so how long will it take for them to every homeowner in this market know who Weichert is? Does anybody know the answer to that? You don't know yet?
It's over.
I'm sorry.
It's over. I've been here my whole life. It won't take long.
Won't take long, right. And what'll happen is when you start doing open houses, is what I want to tell you. And we're going to go through the open house system tomorrow. But have y'all done open houses?
Yep.
Okay. Do you do them now?
I just did one Sunday.
Did one Sunday? Okay. So they work. Okay. And when did you do them as the Weichert way? With 8 directional signs and the 2-week process and all that kind of stuff?
I used to do them with Harrington like that.
I'm sorry?
I used to do them with ERA like that.
Yes, yeah. Well, let me tell you what's going to happen is when we get you guys launched up here this week and you get into our open house system, we're going to put a pin in the calendar for our first big open house, to start the open house weekends and all that kind of stuff. Can you imagine 10 of y'all having an open house in Dover on the same weekend and all of you having 8 directional signs spread around for your open house? That's when the awareness issue goes away.
Be careful.
You follow? Can y'all imagine that? I mean, up in New Jersey, they call it the yellow plague. The other agents do, or the other offices do. So that's going to be a dramatic, neat thing for you guys. So anyway, Century 21 name recognition. After I did a stint doing that, I came back and I general managed a 10-office Century 21 firm in Kentucky for about 4 years. A friend of mine, Joe Guy Hagan, who owned it, and he was getting older, and so it was 5 offices, and we grew it up to 10. It's still there. It's still a wildly successful office. It's been bought by another company by now, but the structure's still there. So I'm real proud of that. I live down the street from it, from the headquarters. But we also have a fantastic new Weichert company in Louisville, where I live, that has grown up and really taken over market share. So been through 3 recessions. This last one wasn't near as much fun as the first 2. It lasted a little bit longer. Did y'all get insulated being a military market? Or what percentage of your market is military?
Maybe 35.
At least.
What you said.
I said no.
Okay, she said about 35%. But of course, if it wasn't here, if all of a sudden it disappeared, you would realize it was much more than that. Is that correct? I mean, the whole infrastructure of the place is kind of based on it. Okay. So anyway, so we're here now, and I want to spend a little time on our sales system for you guys. We're gonna just talk generally about our sales system, and I'm gonna go off the schedule a little bit because I want to spend more time with doors than what we normally allot. I mentioned that on the phone, I think. But Marty gave you a quick overview of Weichert. Somebody tell me something you learned that you remember that Marty said about Weichert.
Internet presence.
internet presence is huge. And you guys are gonna have online training, I think Thursday is when we do all things virtual.